What's up, guys? Steve here with another stimulus check and stimulus package update. And there has been a lot going on, and amongst it, the most popular question that I get is, am I getting a stimulus check still? And I know there's been a lot of confusion because we had the HEALS Act, the HEROES Act, then we had negotiations that were going well, then they went bad. Over the weekend, the president said, I'm issuing executive orders, I'm going to do this. Congress said, you can't issue executive orders, you can't do this. And now this morning we come to find out that we are back at the negotiating table. And again, amongst all of this, people are wondering, am I getting stimulus checks? And apparently over the weekend, with the executive orders issued, there was a lot of confusion. Apparently a lot of people thought that they were getting $1,600 per month stimulus checks. So in this video, I'm going to get you guys caught up on everything as of today, Monday, August the 10th, let you know what's going on with stimulus checks, when we can expect to see things roll out. And let's just get to it. Let's dive right in. All right, guys, so I'm happy to give you some details on what we can expect to see in the next round of stimulus checks. And also, if you had issues receiving your first stimulus check or you didn't receive it at all, how to expedite the process with the next one. So stick around for that. However, before we dive in, if you could just do me a really quick favor, that's right, smash that like button. When you do that, it helps me out a ton. It'll just take a second. YouTube's success is pretty much based on interaction. So when you smash the like button and leave a comment, it helps me out a ton and I would appreciate it. And also, if you would like to stay up to date on what's going on, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that way every time I upload videos, you can stay up to date and notified. But let's dive right in. All right, so first let's clear up any confusion about the amount of the stimulus check and why some people were thinking that it was $1,600 per month over the weekend. So as a result of negotiations not yielding any agreed upon terms for what should be included in the next stimulus package, the president decided that it was time for him to step in and issue executive orders. Now, he issued 4 executive orders addressing items that he felt were time sensitive and urgent. And if you'd like to get more information on those, I did a couple videos over the weekend, please check them out. However, in these executive orders, he did not talk about economic impact payments, aka stimulus checks. However, one of the items that he did address was the enhancement to unemployment benefits. In the CARES Act, it had several provisions that enhanced unemployment. And if you'd like to see more about that, go ahead and check out this video right here. But in those, one of the provisions was the FPUC benefit, which added $600 on top of unemployment benefits for those right now that can't work and don't have a job to go back to. Well, that expired July 31st, and several people actually received their last payment of that on July 25th or July 26th. So there's a lot of people right now that saw their unemployment checks reduced significantly. So in an effort to make sure that they get something right away, he issued an executive order to get enhanced unemployment benefits going again at $400 per week, aka $1,600 per month. Now again, this is unemployment benefits. This is not economic impact payments, aka stimulus checks. However, people saw that there was a stimulus for $1,600 a month to unemployment benefits and got it confused with the stimulus checks. This is not the stimulus checks, this is unemployment. So just wanted to clarify that for you. So a lot of people are wondering, why didn't the president issue an executive order for stimulus checks? We had bipartisan agreement. Republicans, Democrats, even the president himself said that Americans should be getting a second round of stimulus checks. Well, there's a very good reason why the president didn't do this, and it's because he knows that it requires an act of Congress to issue new funds out to Americans. As a matter of fact, this was one of the hangups that they had with the executive order for the enhanced unemployment benefits. They said that you do not have the authority to issue new funds for this enhancement. And he said, well, I'm not issuing new funds, I'm simply reallocating funds. So I can go ahead and do that. And he said, if you don't like it, then go ahead and challenge me, but why don't you guys get back to the negotiating table and get agreements so that way people can get the provisions that they need. So that's currently where we're at. And I guess he knew that this was going to be a hang up. And so he didn't even bother issuing an executive order for stimulus checks because he knew it would be blocked. That's what I'm thinking in regards to why he didn't issue an executive order for stimulus checks. So a lot of people are wondering, what's the delay? What's the holdup if we have an agreement on stimulus checks? Well, it's because it's just one item in a comprehensive stimulus package full of all sorts of things: unemployment, funding for schools, hazard pay, all these things that might be included, state and local funding, all have to be agreed upon. And then economic impact payments or stimulus checks is just one item in there. So even though we have agreement upon that, there's other items that they disagree upon that is holding up the entire package from rolling out. And Republicans actually did suggest that maybe we could break it up into several different bills and we could just pass the things that we agree upon. However, Democrats said they didn't want to do that because they want one comprehensive bill that includes everything so that way nothing is left out. So that is the main reason right now for the holdup on the economic impact payments, aka the stimulus checks. Now, I know a lot of people were kind of sad and upset over the weekend saying that they couldn't come to an agreement on a relief bill, so we're not going to get stimulus checks. And then the president issued executive orders and it did include stimulus checks. But I would say the good news actually is over the weekend, the president issued executive orders and Congress is going to block it. And this is going to make them look really bad if they don't get back to the negotiating table and put something together to help out the American people with provisions. Well, this morning, they're back at the negotiating table and they're trying to put something together so that way we can get that. So that way they don't look bad, especially right before elections. So for those of you that were upset or wondering if we're even going to get stimulus checks, my answer to you would be just to hold tight. I know it's taken a long time and this isn't what you want to hear, but be patient. I believe there will be a stimulus package rolling out and included in it will be stimulus checks. Now, at this moment, no, there is no stimulus checks, but when the stimulus package does roll out, there will be stimulus checks included in it. We have bipartisan agreement. You should be seeing stimulus checks once that comes about. Now, in regards to the amount of the next stimulus check, we pretty much had bipartisan agreement. It's going to look very similar to what we saw in the first stimulus checks that we received in the CARES Act, which is going to be $1,200 to individuals. As long as you make $75,000 or less, you'll receive the full check. You'll receive a partial amount if you make between $75,000 and $99,000. And if you make $99,000 or more, you don't qualify for a stimulus check. Couples filing jointly will receive $2,400, and as long as you make $150,000 or less, you should receive the full check. You'll receive a partial check if you make $150,000 to $198,000. If you make more than that, you don't get any stimulus check. Now, there was a little bit of disagreement as to how much dependents should be receiving. The Republicans in the HEALS Act suggested $500 per dependent. Democrats in the HEROES Act suggested $1,200 per dependent. So we're going to see how that unfolds. Also, more adult dependents should be included in this next round of stimulus checks. In regards to garnishing stimulus checks for backed up child support, as it stands right now, yes, your checks will be garnished as we saw in the first round. However, there's currently a bill on the table to see if we can change that so that way if people owe back child support, they can still receive their full check. So we're still going to see what unfolds with that, but at this moment, that's currently where we stand with stimulus checks. So when are we going to be seeing our stimulus checks? Well, that is dependent on when Congress can come to an agreement on the stimulus package. Now, that's inclusive of all of the provisions that are going to be included. So that includes unemployment, state and local government funding, all of these things. When everything has an agreement, then the stimulus package will roll out. It'll get approved by the House and Congress. Once they approve it, it'll go to the president, and when he signs it into law, according to Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, 7 days after it is signed into law, those people that have direct deposits set up that should be getting electronic payments will receive their stimulus checks 7 days after. Now, keep in mind, if you have any holds for your bank, maybe additional 7 days. So let's say 7 to 14 days that you'll see it hit your bank account. Now, this is for electronic payments. So if you have direct deposits set up with the IRS, this is what you can expect to see. Now, if you do not have that set up, if in the last round you had delays, if you received a paper check or one of those debit cards, I would strongly urge you to make sure that you have a bank account set up with direct deposit with the IRS so that way you can get that stimulus check right away. Now, if you haven't done that, please check out this video right here where I talked about stimulus checks and setting up direct deposit with the IRS. I would really urge you to go ahead and do that so that way you can receive the funds for the economic impact payments as quickly as possible. So I hope that clears things up. I'm going to make sure that I keep you guys up to date on what rolls out, and when stimulus checks are on their way, know that I will go ahead and share it here on my channel. And again, if you could do me a quick favor, if you like this video, if you like this update, smash the like button. I would appreciate it a ton. It'll just take a second. It'll help me out a lot. And if you'd like to see more video updates like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that way every time I upload videos, you can be notified. Also, if you'd like a chance to get 2 free stocks, there's a link in the description below. When you use my link and you fund your account with as little as $100 using the Webull app, you can get 2 free stocks, and one of which could be valued up to $1,400. Well, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and keep you guys up to date. I hope this reaches you well. This is all really good news, and I'm happy to deliver it to you. God bless. This is Steve.